Okay, here's a look at Takara Tomy's Dramatic Capture Series Nemesis Bridge. So here you could see what the front of the box looks like with the nice artwork there, with Megatron sitting on the throne. And the back of the box, you could see your product images with Megatron sitting on the throne, Shockwave and Soundwave, and down here you could see the alt modes that they transform into. So that's a look at the back of the box. So now let's go ahead and take out the box by removing the sleeve inside, and you could see that the box is done in your typical Generation Select style with the colors. And you get a nice drawing here, Decepticon symbol, and a schematic drawing of the Nemesis ship. So that's kind of cool. So that's a look at the front of the box. And now let's take a look at the back of the box. And you could see it's like some sort of explosion in space. As you could see the stars back there. So yeah, it's a plain and simple box. And on the side, you get your Dramatic Capture Series Nemesis Bridge with something written in Japanese that I forgot how to read, so I actually don't know what that says. But that's a look at the box. So now let's open this up and take a look at everything that you get inside. And you could see what it looks like in the box. Get your figures in there. Yeah, let's actually take this down so you can get a better view of everything that comes in the box. And now you could see everything you get. So you get Megatron with the nice paint finish, his throne seat there with his gun, sword thing, Shockwave with the new paint finish. Looks really nice. I like the transparent purple color. And then you get Laserbeak, which should have been Buzzsaw, but you know, that's what we get. And Soundwave's weapons, and of course Soundwave, which not much different, just kind of like the fusion between toy and cartoon. But this is everything that you get inside the box. So now let me just go ahead and take these all out and then see what this looks like after I get these all out of the box. Okay, here's a look at the figures and the accessories out of the box. So first, as always, the instructions. Comes in this nice spreadsheet here, done in the nice purple and black color. So you can see what that looks like. And the figures and the accessories. So let's go over the accessories. So here you get Megatron's sword gun thing, which is also the part of the turret for his tank alt mode, and a part that goes on the back of the tank. So Megatron is basically a parts former. And then Soundwave, we get Laserbeak, which should have been a Buzzsaw, but it's nothing different. It's the same thing that came with the Netflix version. And a gun, which never made sense because I don't remember Soundwave ever having this gun. But this one, I'll show you later. You can kind of attach it to Megatron to kind of mimic that the gun that's on his back. So that's the accessories. And then the other big accessory that you get is his Megatron's throne chair or seat or whatever, which is basically the same thing that came with the I think Studio Series Starscream, which it's kind of like a cheap cop-out because if anything, with Megatron, they should have given you maybe his transparent battle axe that came with that other figure. I don't remember what it was, but this is still kind of nice because you could see you can have Megatron sitting on his throne here. So that's kind of cool. And that's pretty much it with what you get with accessories. So now let's go over each one of these figures. So starting off here with Megatron, let's take a closer look, and I'm glad that happened so I can point out to you that for some reason, and hopefully this is just my copy, but you could see this is really loose, so he doesn't stand very well. But let's take a close-up look at that head. This is a really nice head. It's actually not different than the previous version, the Earthrise, but it does have that nice silver paint finish, which is what makes this figure look so much better. And also the lower legs, the shins here are now gray instead of the black, which I really hate. So just to show you, let's bring out the previous version, and you could see the comparison between the two. So like I was telling you, I never really liked this. So I don't like the other companies that made their version of a Megatron with the black legs, because this is more tune accurate. You know, that's obviously my preference. And I did want to point out, I did customize this, so I painted that little rectangle red. But now with this version, it's already painted red, so it's a little bit more tune accurate. And here you could see, that's what I was telling you. Hopefully this is just my copy, so hopefully no one else has this same issue. But that's pretty much it with the previous version. And then before that, there was the Siege. So let's bring out the Siege version. And it's pretty much the same. It's just basically a retooling. So you'll see that later in the alt mode. But one of the big retooling differences, the head. So you could see the head's different. And I'll tell you, I like the way they shape the eyes here. You could see it has kind of like that V shape, which from a design perspective, that gives more of that menacing look. Where this one, his eyes kind of has like a upside down triangle shape. So yeah, I like the way they did the eyes here. And yeah, that's the difference between the previous versions. So now let me show you the other thing. The accessory that you get here that you could use as like a sword, gun thing, whatever you want to call this. Let's get these guys out of the way, and then you could see you can attach it to his arm here, which I guess is kind of like a cool thing you can have. So you can have him like slashing or flip it around, an extra cannon on his gun. And unfortunately, the way they designed this, the back, you could see the port here, it's a little too high. So if you try to put it back here to try to give him that G1 look, it's really off. You could see it's just way too high. So yeah, that doesn't work. But like I was saying, with that gun they gave you with Soundwave, which never made sense, you can actually use this and put this on the back, and that will now give you kind of like that look of the G1 Megatron with that gun on his back. So that's kind of cool, and I think that's how I'll keep it. But I'll just say, if anything, what they should have done is retooled this so that the hole was down here. But then that would just cost a little bit more, which is what they don't want to do. So you could see if the hole was down here, that would have been much better. But they didn't do that. So anyways, that's just a look at Megatron. And so now let's take a look at Shockwave. Okay, here's a look at Shockwave, and you could see he now has a nice purple finish to him. His thighs and feet here, I think are a little bit too light. I think it should have been a little bit darker gray. But what I really like is now his chest here has that transparent purple. So that's definitely more tune accurate. And just to be a little nitpicky, these Decepticon symbols on his forearm, I don't like that silver back because that's kind of the G1 toy look. It should just be all purple, but then they would have to use a lighter purple so it shows. And then the other thing is his backpack. He never had a gray backpack, but you know, they obviously did this to replicate that laser cannon, which you'll see in alt mode. But I want to kind of mistransform it this way so he does look a little bit more tune accurate. So yeah, this is the Shockwave. And to compare it with the previous version, here is the Siege version, and you could see the difference. This one's obviously darker, has more of like this battle damaged paint all over, and it has like a transparent chest instead of the transparent purple chest, gray hands and stuff. But yeah, this is what I was telling you. It would have been nice if they would have kept this same color gray, because yeah, again, I think this is just a little too light. And then his backpack, you know, this one, they weren't trying to go for that laser cannon. They were trying to go for that ship look. So yeah, that doesn't kind of show so much. So there's a difference between those two. And just for the heck of it, I thought I'd bring out the previous version before all that, which was a Walgreen exclusive. And, you know, this figure is... well, first of all, you could see he's much bigger, but yeah, it's not the same engineering quality as these, but there is still something kind of fun and cool about it, which, you know, that's probably what it was meant for. These are probably meant for the younger kids, because it is easy to transform. Definitely has limited articulation. You can't bend his knee. But yeah, in short, I'll just tell you, you know, your targeted market audience, the little kids, I think this is actually not bad. It's pretty good and pretty cheap. So that's a look at the Shockwave. So now let's take a look at Soundwave. Okay, here's a look at Soundwave. And there isn't really much difference other than just little touch-ups of paint, like his shoulder here has kind of like extra paint detail there to kind of replicate the toy. And then there is a little bit of paint here, the silver paint, also to give kind of like that toy look. And the chest here, these yellow stripes here, and the rectangular is now all one same color, this gold shape, so it looks really nice. His eyes, I mean, it's cool you get this transparent eyes, but it doesn't work unless you get some light going down here through that transparent plastic. So here's a good example where they need to stop doing that and just start painting it the metallic red. That'd be cool. But other than that, there really isn't much difference to point out other than just little touch-ups of paint here and there. So now let's compare this with the previous version so you could see. And this is what I was telling you, the chest, you could see this is yellow rectangle with this kind of like gold shape. So it's inconsistent there. So they made it more uniform here. And then this one doesn't really have the silver paint here. It's kind of like gray. But I'll tell you, like, it would have been nice if they would have just used the white plastic here. So it's definitely more G1 tune accurate. But I think this they didn't do that because they're going to do that with the Studio Series Soundwave that we're going to get. So yeah, like I said, there really isn't much difference to point out. But the previous version before this was the Siege. And here you could see this is totally a different figure. This one transforms into, I don't know, some spaceship thing, when really they should have made this turn into that street lamp post or whatever, kind of like the Origins line. That would have been really, really cool. But this is what we got. You know, I'm looking back at all of this. I am starting to appreciate some of the designs, even though it was not really consistent with G1, such as, you know, all the details here, all this little battle damage stuff here, and this chest, even the yellow eyes, which shines better than the red. But yeah, there's a difference between the Soundwave. And then just real quick, the Laserbeak. This is basically the same figure that comes with the Netflix version. But like I said, this would have been nice if, you know, they would have given us a buzzsaw that we are looking for. And again, I think we're going to get that with the new Studio Series Soundwave. And I don't have it out, but let me get it real quick. Here you could see the Laserbeak that came with the Siege version. So this is kind of like the Cybertronian mode. So this one kind of replicates that scene from the first episode again, which is why they should have made him into that lamppost thing, because that makes sense here. So you could see the difference. There is something cool about this and the Origins line. So that's just a quick look at the Soundwave and Laserbeak. So now let's go ahead and transform all these guys back or into alt mode and take a look at that. Okay, here's a look at them in their alt mode, and let's take a closer look at Megatron so you could see what this looks like. They did color things a little bit different. It does have that nice silver paint, and it does have all this nicely sculpted detail, which is the same as the Earthrise version. It's just the only difference is really the paint finish. But now let's take a closer look at Shockwave, and you could see the nice purple color, especially the transparent purple there. And this front part now is gray, which, you know, it's meant to replicate the Shockwave gun to be like this. So I don't know, I think that's just kind of funny how they're trying to get around that. But yeah, it definitely looks better than the Siege version. And here is a look at the Soundwave, which is pretty much the same. Just little details here, like you see the gold trim on the side here is the same as the rectangle outline. But little things like here, the silver, and then this unpainted gray plastic also up here, which is a little bit of a bummer. And also, if they could have used the same blue plastic on these parts here, I think it would have been nicer. But this is what you get. And Laserbeak, nothing different about this. This is just straight up the exact same figure. But like I said, this definitely should have been Buzzsaw. I don't know why they did that, but my suspicions is that, you know, they're planning to give you a Buzzsaw with the Studio Series version of Soundwave. But anyways, that's a look at these. So now let's take a closer look in comparison with their previous versions. So first, here's a look at Megatron. So here you could see this is the new version. let's move him back there, and which is basically a redeco of the Earthrise version. So just a quick comparison between these two, you could see the difference. This one has like some black and gray mixed in with some more red details on here. And this one, you know, has that nice silver finish, but pretty much the same figure. And then the Siege version, I don't know, I like to call these the Cybertron version because it's not really a Earth mode, but you could see the difference. Now this one has like 2 treads, front and back. This one just has that one on the side. So yeah, there's just a quick look at the difference between the previous version of Megatron. So now let's take a closer look at Shockwave. And here is a look at the previous version of Shockwave, which let's first take a closer look here. This one has all the extra parts forming piece, which, you know, is just really odd, especially, you know, the way they designed it to look like they're more limbs, like his legs and arms and stuff. But yeah, I would say that this one looks a little bit more like a spaceship than this version, which again, because of the front, you know that they were making it so that you could replicate the laser cannon. But yeah, there's a difference. And you know, just looking at this and comparing it, I can appreciate just some of the design, particularly the sculpt with all this extra detail here, like the turrets here and the tower. Really cool. Kind of reminds me kind of like a Gundam or SDF-1 ship. So yeah, there's a comparison with the previous version, but it's also bringing out this earlier version. I forgot what this is called, but this is basically that Walgreens exclusive in his alt mode. And I think this is actually cool for a little kid's toy. Very easy to transform, very simple, but yet it still looks okay, you know, with the nice purple colors and stuff. So that's just a quick look at the Shockwave. So now let's take a look at Soundwave. And here's a look at Soundwave and the previous versions. But first, here's a look at the new version. Like I already said, it has the nice gold trim that's all consistent throughout, so it looks much nicer. And just to compare it with the previous version, you could see what that looks like. Nothing really to point out. It's basically the same figure, just a little touch-up of details here and there. But the Siege version, here you could see the major difference. This was basically a big retooling, and the previous version was, you know, like some sort of spaceship, which kind of reminds me of like the days playing with the Lego. You just put all kinds of stuff together and then just make up something and call it a ship, which this is kind of what that resembles, in my opinion. But anyways, that's just a comparison with the previous version. And like I said, there really isn't much to point out other than this just has a slightly better paint finish than the previous Netflix version. So that's a look at the Soundwave. So now let's transform these guys back into robot mode and have our final thoughts. Okay, my final thoughts on these. This is a nice set to have and add to your collection of mainline retail figures, with the exception of this. And hopefully this is just my set with the loose joints there. But like I said, this is a nice set to have because these are better than the previous versions, in that, you know, it has the nice paint finish. It's more tune accurate. The better color, like I said, with the more tune accurate colors, the transparent purple here. Soundwave is a little bit of an exception. It's kind of like, still has like that fusion of like the toy and cartoon, which, you know, I think they're doing that on purpose as a setup to get you to buy their Studio series, which is coming out, which I anticipate we're going to get the buzzsaw with the Studio series Soundwave. But other than that, you know, it's a nice set. And something else was the package that this comes with. I think they could have been done better than this thing, which, you know, if you're collecting, you already have this, so it makes no sense. It would have been better if they would have given you the transparent purple mace that Megatron used in that one episode. And yeah, like I said, a buzzsaw would have been nice. But other than that, you know, like I said, this is a nice set to have. These guys look really good together. And I didn't bring this out because I didn't want my video to be too long, but I just thought I'd end this way. I mean, it goes really nice with your collection. So now we have the whole quartet here with Starscream to go with these guys, and you can see what this all looks like. Now this set looks actually really, really good. And then of course you can add all the other figures: Thundercracker, Skywarp, Rumble, Frenzy, Laserbeak, Buzzsaw, Ravage, Reflector, Insecticons, Constructicons. This set is going to look really, really nice. But it's looking good so far. So yeah, this is a nice set. And I don't give recommendations because if you want it, you'll get it. If you don't, you won't. But this is a pretty expensive figure. But the figures do look nice. And so, yeah, I'll just end there and tell you that this is a nice set to have. The Takara Tomy Nemesis Bridge.
Autobots are set to launch Megatron. As are we. Shockwave!
What is your command, Megatron?
You are to stay behind. Blast off!